The zero-cost soil secret that lasts 1,000 years, without chemicals, ever. Fellow gardeners, let's talk about something every one of us craves: rich living soil that never runs out of power. Imagine having soil so fertile that it can grow food for generations, your children, their children, and maybe even 1,000 years down the line, without ever needing a drop of chemical fertilizer. Sounds impossible? Not at all. In fact, the Earth has been doing this for millions of years before chemicals were ever invented. On my channel Soil Power, I always say, the secret isn't in a bag of store-bought fertilizer. The real power lies in simple, natural, and zero-cost methods that anyone, anywhere can use. Today, I'll walk you through the proven ways you can enrich your soil, forever. These are the same practices that built ancient soils in Africa, the Amazon, and Asia, soils that still remain fertile centuries later. Let's start with the truth. Chemical fertilizers feed plants, not soil. They give your plants a quick hit, but over time they burn out the organic life underground. Worms disappear, microbes vanish, and the soil becomes nothing but lifeless dust that needs more and more inputs each season. But when we feed the soil instead of the plant, we build a living ecosystem underground. Worms, fungi, bacteria, and roots work together to cycle nutrients endlessly. The soil becomes stronger, deeper, and richer every year instead of weaker. That's the zero-cost 1,000-year solution. Composting is the cornerstone of eternal soil fertility. But here's the twist. You don't need fancy bins, rotating drums, or special activators. Nature composts for free, and so can you. So, all you need is organic matter. Leaves, kitchen scraps, weeds, grass clippings, even old cardboard. Just pile it up, keep it a little damp, and let time do the rest. Worms will move in, microbes will multiply, and slowly but surely everything will turn into dark, crumbly humus. The secret to making compost last 1,000 years is, honestly, consistency. Every season, return what you take. If you harvest corn stalks, chop them and put them back. If you peel potatoes, bury the peels in your garden. Over time, your soil grows richer instead of poorer. If I could convince every gardener to do just one thing, it would be to invite worms into their soil. Worms are nature's engineers. They pull organic matter underground, chew it, and leave behind castings that are richer than any store-bought fertilizer. Here's the zero-cost way. Stop throwing away your kitchen scraps. Just dig a small trench between your garden rows, drop in your scraps, cover them with a bit of soil, and walk away. Worms will find the feast and set up camp. If you do this regularly, pretty soon your soil will be riddled with worm tunnels, aerated, and honestly just bursting with life. Worms don't just enrich soil for one season, they literally build it for centuries. Ancient civilizations survived because of worm-rich soils, and you can too. Mulching might just be the most underrated gardening secret. Think of mulch as a protective blanket that never leaves your soil naked. Naked soil dries out, erodes, and loses fertility. Covered soil grows stronger every season. You don't need store-bought mulch. Grass clippings, dry leaves, straw, shredded weeds, even sawdust. Just use what you have around. Spread a thick layer over your beds. The mulch breaks down slowly, feeding the soil, while at the same time keeping moisture locked in and weeds down. Here's the 1,000-year effect. Mulching actually mimics the forest floor. Forests don't get tilled or fertilized, yet their soil remains rich century after century because the ground is always covered. If you copy that system, your garden will thrive just like a forest. Now, let's dive into one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked, zero-cost methods, biochar. Hundreds of years ago, farmers in the Amazon created soils called terra preta, black earth that is still fertile today. Their secret? Charcoal mixed into the soil. You can make biochar from any woody material, sticks, prunings, corn cobs, burned in a low-oxygen fire. Instead of turning to ash, it becomes charcoal. When charged with compost or urine, it becomes a nutrient sponge, holding fertility for centuries. Unlike compost that eventually breaks down, biochar locks nutrients into the soil almost permanently. That's the 1,000-year guarantee right there. Add biochar once, and your great-great-grandchildren will still be benefiting from it. One of the best ways to feed your soil is to keep roots in the ground year-round. Every living root leaks sugars into the soil, feeding microbes and fungi. When roots die, they leave behind tiny channels that aerate the soil and store carbon. You don't need to buy cover crop seeds. You can use beans, peas, mustard, or even, weeds managed smartly. The point is, never let your soil go bare. Rotate crops, mix legumes with heavy feeders, and let the underground world stay active all year long. Roots not only build fertility but also lock it in place. That's how prairies and forests built deep black soils that lasted for millennia. Look around your neighborhood and you'll notice free fertility everywhere. Farmers burn crop residues, landscapers bag up leaves, coffee shops throw away grounds, and markets toss spoiled vegetables. All of this is free gold for your garden. So, make friends with your local landscaper or coffee shop, ask for their waste, and suddenly you'll have bags of organic matter that others actually pay to get rid of. You can compost it, mulch with it, or even bury it in your garden trenches. This isn't just free fertility for you, it's actually saving resources that would otherwise just go to waste. It's a win-win for you and the planet. Here's the beauty of these methods. They compound. The longer you practice them, the better your soil gets. 1 year of composting, mulching, and worm feeding will give you noticeable results. 10 years will transform your garden into a powerhouse. And, 100 years of this cycle, you've built soil that can feed generations. There's no expiration date on natural fertility. Unlike chemical farming, which locks you into a cycle of buying, applying, and depleting, these zero-cost methods build a self-renewing system. Your soil doesn't just survive, it thrives. Friends, the shocking truth is that you don't need money, chemicals, or complicated systems to enrich your soil for 1,000 years. You need consistency, patience, and the wisdom to follow nature's lead. Compost your scraps, invite worms, mulch generously, use biochar, keep roots in the ground, and rescue organic waste from going to the dump. Do this, and you'll never run out of soil power. You'll be part of a living tradition that has sustained people for centuries and will continue to do so long after us. If this article gave you new ideas and inspiration, I invite you to join the Soil Power family. Subscribe to the channel, share this resource with your gardening friends, and let's spread the message that soil is our greatest inheritance. Together we can build gardens that last not just for us, but for 1,000 years.